Video, we will be looking at integration by parts. So let's say you want to integrate x times e to the x. You can't really use u substitution here, so you would have to use another integration method. And we will take a look at integration by part. So say if you have the integral of a function with two parts. So the two parts are u times v prime. This could actually be equal to u times v minus the integral of u prime times v. And this could also be denoted as the integral of u times dv, which is equal to u times v minus the integral of du times v. And these two formulas mean the same thing, they are just denoted differently. So let's take a look at our example. So our example here, we have x times e to the x. So our first part can be equal to u, and our second part could be equal to v prime. So let's just write this on the side. So u is equal to x, v prime is equal to e to the x. And let's find the derivative of x, which is simply equal to 1. And v is the antiderivative of v prime. So the antiderivative of v prime, so it is the integral of e to the x. And the integral of e to the x is simply e to the x. And let's not write the integration constant for now, and you'll see why in a second. So now that we have all of the parts, we can substitute it into our formula here. So first we have to substitute u times v. So this integral is equal to u times v. So u times v is simply equal to x times e to the x. And now the second part of this is minus the integral of u prime times v. So the integral of u times prime v is essentially, 1 times e to the x. And then now, after simplifying everything, we just have to find the integral of e to the x. And we know the integral of e to the x is e to the x, and don't forget the plus c constant, because we will do this at the end. And here is our final answer. So we have the integral of x times ln x, and we see that ln is a logarithm function, so that would be our u value. So u is equal to ln x, while v prime is equal to x. The derivative of ln x is equal to 1 over x, while the antiderivative of x is simply x squared over 2. And now let's construct everything. So we have u times v, which is simply equal to ln times x squared over 2 minus the integral of u prime times v. So it is the integral of 1 over x times x squared over 2 dx. And let's simplify everything. So ln x times x squared over 2 minus the integral of x over 2 dx. And the antiderivative of x over 2 is simply, let's write everything first. So ln x squared over 2. So the antiderivative of x over 2 is x squared over 4 plus c. And here is our final answer. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and please comment down what other topics you guys would like to see. For example, we have sin x times x. And you might be wondering what to pick as u and what to pick as v. And this brings us to our Liat rule, which is essentially a priority list for picking u. So over here, sine x is a trig function, and x is an algebraic function. And because algebraic is higher than trig, x will be our u value. So u is equal to x, and v prime is equal to sine x. The derivative of x is equal to 1, and the antiderivative of sine x is equal to cosine x. And now that we have all the parts, we can construct our answer. So remember, the first part is u times v, so it is equal to x times minus cosine x minus the integral of u prime times v. So it is the integral of 1 times minus cosine x. And then now we could just simply simplify everything. So it is minus x cosine x minus minus. So since we have two minus, it gives us a plus sign. So plus the integral of cosine dx. And then this leads us to our final answer of minus cosine x. So x times minus cosine x plus sine x plus our constant. And here is our final answer.